Physical touch is one of the most powerful forms of emotional communication. It can build trust, create comfort, and express affection without a single word being spoken. In this video, we will explore how certain forms of touch, when expressed with sincerity and warmth, can deepen emotional connection. These touches do not manipulate or pressure. Instead, they naturally encourage a sense of closeness and openness. The goal is understanding how touch can reflect respect, care, and presence in a meaningful way. This conversation is not about tricks or tactics, but methods. Rather, it is about awareness, understanding how human bonding works at a psychological level. When touch aligns with genuine emotion, it becomes a language of its own. The way a hand rests on a shoulder, the gentle reassurance in a supportive gesture, or the warmth of a calm presence can create emotional resonance without needing dramatic expression. What matters most is intention. A touch grounded in respect and sincerity communicates more than grand declarations ever could. By approaching touch with mindfulness and emotional maturity, one creates the space for real connection to grow. In this video, we will break down subtle forms of touch that can naturally encourage emotional closeness, without force and without trying to control outcomes. These are touches that speak to comfort, stability, and genuine care. The qualities that allow love to develop quietly, steadily, and deeply. Stay with us as we explore each one in detail. Playful light contact. Playful. Light contact introduces warmth and levity into an interaction. It is the kind of touch that emerges naturally during a moment of shared laughter or gentle teasing. A brief tap on the arm, a soft nudge during a joke, or a light touch on the back as you move together through a room. Psychology shows that playfulness lowers emotional defenses and creates a sense of comfort. When used sincerely, this type of touch communicates ease, familiarity, and joy, qualities that help affection grow without feeling forced or intense. The power of playful contact lies in its lightness. It does not seek to claim attention or convey deep emotional message. Instead, it brings relaxation into the moment. A woman is more likely to feel connected to someone who can make her feel at ease, someone who can blend affection with humor without crossing personal boundaries. This balance of warmth and subtlety reflects emotional intelligence, the ability to be present without overwhelming the interaction. This kind of touch also encourages shared emotional rhythm. When two people laugh together, move in sync, or enjoy the same moment of lightness, the nervous system releases positive emotional signals that foster connection. These experiences are often remembered long after words fade. The memory of how someone made you feel tends to last longer than what they said, and playful touch helps create that emotional imprint. However, this gesture must always remain respectful and natural. A stoic perspective encourages awareness. Observe her comfort level, her energy, and her response. If the atmosphere is relaxed and the connection is mutual, playful contact enhances it gently. If she seems withdrawn or reserved, the stoic approach is to hold stillness and patience. When done with sincerity and presence, playful touch becomes a quiet, joyful bridge between two people, one that deepens affection without ever needing to announce its intention. Reassuring hand. Placement, a gentle, reassuring touch on the hand, can create an immediate sense of emotional closeness. Unlike more casual forms of contact, touching the hand shows presence and attentiveness. It is a gesture often associated with comfort and understanding. When done with calm intention, For example, during a sincere moment of conversation, it communicates that you are not only listening, but also truly connected to what she is expressing. This type of touch is subtle, yet it carries emotional weight because it acknowledges both the moment and the person within it. What makes this touch meaningful is its softness and pace. A rushed or overly assertive gesture can feel invasive, while a slow and steady touch suggests emotional steadiness. When your hand rests briefly or lightly against hers, it signals care without dependency, interest without pressure. Women often respond to this contact because it aligns physical presence with emotional consideration. It reflects a kind of quiet reassurance, a message that says, "I am here," without needing to speak the words out loud. This form of touch also stimulates feelings of psychological safety, which plays a crucial role in developing deeper emotional connection. The hand is a sensitive area tied to the nervous system. A calm, warm touch can slow breathing, soften tension, and promote trust. These small physiological changes are often felt more than consciously recognized, which is why such a gesture can influence feelings without appearing intentional or strategic. However, the effectiveness of this touch depends entirely on the context and emotional tone of the moment. A stoic mindset encourages awareness and restraint, never forcing the gesture but allowing it to arise naturally. When used thoughtfully with patience and respect, the reassuring hand placement becomes a quiet form of emotional communication. It deepens connection not through intensity but through sincerity and presence. Gentle shoulder touch. A gentle touch on the shoulder may seem simple, but psychology shows it carries significant emotional meaning. The shoulder is a neutral and non-intrusive place to initiate physical contact, which allows it to feel natural and respectful. When this touch is done calmly and without urgency, it communicates presence, warmth, and attentiveness. It shows that you are engaged in the moment, neither demanding attention nor forcing intimacy. This subtle gesture signals emotional stability, something many women deeply value, often without consciously realizing why. The key to this touch is intention. A man who reaches out gently without hesitation or pressure expresses quiet confidence. It is not a touch designed to impress. It is a touch that conveys steadiness. Women often respond to this form of subtle reassurance because it reflects inner composure. When a person feels safe in someone's presence, genuine emotional connection becomes possible. This single light moment can say more than an elaborate romantic gesture. Furthermore, this type of touch activates a part of the nervous system associated with trust and bonding. The human body reacts instinctively to supportive contact, especially when the interaction carries no hidden agenda. It encourages relaxation instead of tension. In this way, the gentle shoulder touch becomes an invitation, not to move closer physically, but to feel understood and seen. It communicates emotional availability rather than demand. However, the effectiveness of this gesture depends entirely on timing and awareness. A stoic mindset is valuable here. Observe the emotional atmosphere, understand the conversation's tone, and let the moment arise naturally. When the gesture is sincere, respectful, and calm, it allows connection to deepen silently, almost imperceptibly, in a way that feels safe, genuine, and deeply human. Supportive embrace presence. A supportive embrace is not necessarily a full hug. It can be as subtle as placing an arm lightly around her back during a meaningful moment. This type of touch communicates emotional steadiness rather than intensity. When given with calm intention, it conveys that you are present, dependable, and grounded. Psychology shows that supportive touch activates a sense of safety and reassurance, allowing the other person to relax emotionally. It is a gesture that speaks to trust rather than desire, making it deeply meaningful when attraction is already forming beneath the surface. What distinguishes this embrace from more intimate forms of touch is the absence of urgency. There is no pulling, no possessive pressure, no attempt to escalate the moment. Instead, the embrace provides quiet support, a calm anchor in the emotional atmosphere. A woman often responds to this type of touch without consciously recognizing why it matters. It signals that you are confident in your own presence and do not need to seek approval or validation. This creates space for connection to develop naturally, without rush or expectation. However, the impact of this touch depends on attention to timing and emotional context. A stoic mindset teaches patience and awareness. Allow the moment to arise on its own, rather than forcing closeness. When the embrace aligns with the emotional tone, a pause in conversation, a shared moment of reflection, or a reassuring exchange, it reinforces trust and emotional closeness. In this way, supportive presence becomes more powerful than dramatic affection, deepening attraction in a subtle, lasting way. Slow and intentional proximity. The final form of touch is not a single gesture, but the gradual closing of physical distance. When attraction is present, closeness itself becomes a quiet form of communication. Moving slightly nearer while speaking, sitting just close enough for warmth to be felt, or walking side by side at a calm and unhurried pace. These moments carry emotional weight. Psychology shows that slow proximity signals comfort, respect, and interest without pressure. It communicates, "I am here with you, not to take but to share this moment." The power of this touch lies in its restraint. There is no rush to bridge the remaining distance, no attempt to force intimacy. Instead, the closeness unfolds at a pace that feels natural. This allows the emotional atmosphere to breathe. When a woman feels that she is being approached with patience rather than urgency, her trust deepens. She senses that the connection is genuine and steady, not something driven by impulse or desire alone. This calm confidence is often what allows deeper feelings to form without either person realizing when it truly began. A stoic approach ensures that this proximity remains respectful and intuitive. You observe her comfort level, mirror her pacing, and allow mutual presence to guide the moment. If she leans in, you stay with her. If she needs space, you honor it. This awareness transforms closeness into connection rather than expectation. In this way, intentional proximity becomes one of the most powerful forms of touch, gentle, patient, and deeply resonant, allowing love to take shape quietly, naturally, and with emotional integrity. Touch, when expressed with sincerity and patience, communicates more deeply than spoken words. Each gesture we explored, from the gentle shoulder touch to the slow approach of proximity, reflects a quiet form of emotional connection. These touches are not about control, strategy, or persuasion. They are about presence, the ability to be calm, grounded, and genuinely attentive to another person. When touch arises naturally from respect and care, it carries the power to create closeness without ever being forced. The true impact of touch lies in intention. A hurried or expectant gesture disrupts trust, while a steady and thoughtful touch fosters it. When you remain composed and aware, you allow emotional connection to grow at its own pace. This is where the stoic perspective becomes valuable. It teaches us to act with clarity, to feel without losing balance, and to give without demanding anything in return. Attraction that develops within this space is deeper, steadier, and far more meaningful. As you reflect on these ideas, consider how you express presence in your interactions. Ask yourself whether your touch communicates reassurance, attentiveness, and respect. If it does, connection forms naturally, quietly, almost imperceptibly, until one day affection is simply there, not rushed, not sought, just felt.